My name's Julie Porter. I'm 27 years old, Caucasian, and I am the pastry chef de partie here at the Four Seasons Hotel in Austin, Texas. We have a rather small pastry shop. There are 6 employees total that work here, and we make everything from scratch. Our breads, breakfast pastries, croissants, plated desserts, everything you can imagine, we make it from scratch right here. Since it is rather tight quarters, you can imagine with only 6 employees, we have a very high production volume that we're used to. So I am used to working under very strict time constraints. So for my 5 minutes, what I have decided to do is to show you guys just how quickly I can make this cake sellable to the public. Because I remember from season 1 of The Next Great Baker how Buddy emphasized on numerous challenges that speed is key when working in a bakery. You have to be able to finish a product and get it out on the shelf to sell. So, if you'll give me just 1 second, I will get some tools ready, and whenever we come back, I'll show y'all exactly how quickly I can make this cake sellable. Alright, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and set the timer for 5 minutes. I've got some white chocolate that I just tempered, and I'm making what we call here galaxies. It's just spirals of chocolate that I'm doing on marble, so they'll harden and set by the time my 5 minutes is up. Okay, and then if we come over here, I have a few pieces of fondant rolled out and ready for me to use. The first thing that I'm going to do is cut my ribbon. I'm using an accordion cutter, and the way that you stick the ribbon on the cake is by using just a little bit of water. And so I'm going to brush that on the sides of the cake, and the important thing to remember when doing that is don't use a lot of water, because less truly is more. If you put too much water on, it'll just make your designs slide off the sides of your cake, and nobody wants that.
4 minutes.
Okay. So, with the help of that water, it helps this fondant ribbon stick to the fondant cake beautifully. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing to the top tier. Okay, now we have our border. Now, to make leaves, I have this fondant rolled out really thin. You can either hand cut your leaves or use a leaf cutter. Either way is just fine.
3 minutes.
Perfect. Now, you need a little piece of foam. Draw your veins. And then I love to ruffle the ends of the leaf. I think that look is so pretty. I love doing that. There's one. Ruffling the ends again. Now these are just going to set to the side for just a moment. Now I'm going to make some ribbon roses.
2 minutes.
Okay. And the way I do that is by cutting strips, folding it in half, and then you just start rolling it inward. And you just keep going till you get the size of rose that you're looking for, and then pinch off the extra. So easy and pretty. I love making this flower. Now, to stick all of these pieces on our cake, I like to use buttercream just to hold everything together. And it'll be covered up. No one will see that ugly blob there. And our leaves. And now we can get our galaxies.
15 seconds.
I like to use these to just add height to the cake and give it a different component, not just all fondant, it's got chocolate. So, time is up. 5 minutes of decorating and we have a cake ready to go out on the shelf that could easily be sold for $100. I love it. I wish I had some sample dummy cakes that I could show you of some of my work, but due to our tight quarters here, we don't keep any of our dummy cakes. So I do have some photos that I can show you of some cakes that I've made. The first one was a wedding cake that a bride requested, and everyone in the pastry shop said no. They did not want to make this cake because of the ruffles. I love a challenge, and so I jumped on top of this cake. I was happy to do it. It took me about 5 hours to make the ruffles for both of those tiers. And even though it was time consuming, I enjoyed every minute of it. I used a half gum paste, half fondant mixture to make the ruffles. That gave me enough time to work with it before it set and got too stiff. And the greatest compliment that I received was whenever my boss told me that my cake looked better than the picture that the bride had sent us. It made me so happy. I have another cake here. This just shows I really enjoy doing not just wedding cakes, but cakes that are 3D and that look like something. My husband loves ground red pepper, and this was our bottle that we use at home, and I surprised him with a cake that looked like the bottle, and he loved it, and I enjoyed making it. I have another 3D cake here that I wanted to show you. This is just of a giraffe. My best friend was having a baby shower and she wanted giraffes as the theme. And so what I did was, he's sitting on a solid sheet cake. His body is cake, but I used Rice Krispie Treat cereal for his legs and his head. And then the decorations are gum paste and fondant. And then lastly, I wanted to show you that not only do I do cakes, but I also dabble in a little bit of everything. This I made to look like Carlo's Bakery last Christmas for our German gingerbread village in the hotel lobby. Whenever I was assigned to do the bakery, of course, I thought of Carlo's Bakery immediately. So even though I had to put a German title on it, the theme was Carlo's Bakery, and there were even guests that recognized it as Carlo's Bakery. They would say, "That's that bakery from that show on TLC." And it made me happy that people recognized it. So those are just a few pieces of some of my work.